we will be able to find ways, for example, as we were talking before about fecal transplant. We take some organisms from a healthy person, transfer it to somebody with C. diff, the infection C. diff, and guess what? They are cured. So now we want to do the same thing for the other diseases.
For other diseases. So let me explain this to people a little bit, because what you talked about, I have done poop transplants with patients, and in my experience, it's incredible. It's curative. It is crazy. It's crazy.
It really is.
Giving one person's poop into another and it cures them. So we'll have somebody, there's a mild form of diarrhea, antibiotic-associated diarrhea. You take an antibiotic, you have the runs for a couple days, it goes away. But then there's a severe form of that. The way I think about it, correct me if I'm wrong, certain antibiotics, Augmentin, Cipro. We have people that are on antibiotics for weeks, months. They're on it for a long time.
Sure.
It kills gut bacteria, good and bad. And if the bad overtakes it and overgrows it, especially bacteria called C. difficile, Clostridium difficile, that can be life-threatening. Causes colitis, very difficult to treat. People can get sick and die from it. And used to be we treated them with one antibiotic, Flagyl. That was first line. I don't remember the numbers, maybe 50%. If that didn't work, you used another antibiotic, vancomycin. That one's probably still the first line standard of care. But I would get patients who we would go through that, and they would be better for a little bit, and then they'd get sick again. And after you've already tried vancomycin, it was like, what are we going to do now? Either they're on that antibiotic indefinitely, because whenever they stopped it, it just overgrew again, and then it was like, I have no idea where the idea came from. But I had patients that we couldn't get them off the vanco, and then we did poop transplant, called a fecal transplant, and it cured them, and they were fine. And I would see that, and I was like, that's crazy. It's so crazy. So you start with that, right? A very clear, severe form of antibiotic-associated diarrhea, and you have to it's like any transplant, you have to make sure they don't have HIV, you do testing, and make sure that they're appropriate match, and a lot of times people get it from family members. I don't want to talk about the process, but it's a colonoscopy and they drop it off. Anyway, I don't know why I'm going there. But anyway, the point is, if that can work for that, what if you took a skinny person's poo and you put it in somebody that's 500 pounds? Would that help? And then it's like, where do we stop? We don't do that. I've never seen that or done that. It's experimental right now. But I can share in the excitement, especially for things that we can't cure, for things we don't have good answers for.
In fact, mentioning taking a fecal sample from a lean person, put it on somebody who is overweight, it helps. They already did experiments in animals where it showed this happens exactly that. They took from lean, put it to an obese, the obese became down, and they took from obese, put it to the lean became obese.
Really?
Yes, so this has been done. Yeah. Wow. So to me, what you are pointing at is really the future of how can we modulate the microbiome or change the microbiome. Mm-hmm. And fecal sample is good, but now people are starting to look at, can we select certain organisms? We don't have to give the whole feces. Let's select the good ones and then use those to hopefully get rid of a certain disease or not. However, this is going to take, of course, clinical trials and this sort of thing, but there is very big promise in that.
Yeah.